All right, let's start out with a little question here. Who's the best running back in the league? If you answered Dion Lewis, you would be correct. All right, so maybe the best running back in the league is a little bit of an exaggeration, but Dion Lewis has been probably the most underrated running back this year in the league. His versatile running style with quick shifty movements like Shady McCoy combined with occasional bursts of power through the line like LeGarrette Blount. It's made him quite a useful weapon for the Patriots offense, especially recently when Brady's been taking a lot of shots and they need to take some pressure off of Brady. So I've been wanting to do some film on Dion Lewis forever, and if you stick around towards the end at this timestamp, I'll show off my favorite play from Dion Lewis that I've ever seen him perform, and I'll break it down too. So let's get into the film room here. So part of the reason Dion Lewis is so great is because of his production in three phases of scoring. You have kick returns slash punt returns, you have his ability to catch the ball, and you have his ability to run with the ball. And so this is an example of special teams, which is a really important phase of the game. And this is his kick return against the Broncos. And this was a huge play in the game because it completely swung the momentum in the favor of the Patriots. And it kind of set a tone for the rest of the night. This ended up being a huge blowout for the Patriots. And so let's just take a look at the play really quickly. And just general thoughts about the play. Dion Lewis takes it back 3 yards into the end zone. Does a great job of working with limited amount of space, as you'll see right here with this nice juke. And you'll see him bounce right off this tackle after a little hesitation move, and he struts right into the end zone. This was an incredible play to watch live. I was going crazy. A friend of mine was over. It was a lot of fun. And so this is the view I really want to talk about here, the end zone view. And this is really great for special teams because you can see a lot of the blocks developing, and you can see a lot of how much space they really have to work with. So this is a kick to the left side of the field here, and you'll see the blocks kind of develop. So now the most important part of special teams is the double block. And so the double block, as you'll see right here, is basically the point of attack. And you'll see number 32 here gets double blocked, and number 59 right here does a great job of staying with 16 and carrying the inside. This creates a nice little lane in between these two for Dion Lewis to run into, as you'll see. And this lane develops, and this is a really nice lane. Dion Lewis basically goes untouched for the first 35 yards here. So now Dion Lewis is in kind of a corner against the kicker. So he puts on a nifty juke and completely finesses the kicker here, runs right past him. And you'll notice a little hesitation fake with the head. And this is kind of what makes Dion Lewis special. His ability to work in limited field opportunities and his ability to create space out of nothing. And as you'll see, he just bounces right off. And this is a style of running that Dion Lewis has kind of adapted after his ACL tear. Instead of making vicious cuts like he used to, he kind of has more of a power aspect added to his game. And we'll talk about that a little more later on. You see him just bounce right off and straight into the end zone. What is that? A weird celebration, but a great play. So now let's get into a little more of the running aspect of Dion Lewis. I mean, he's a running back after all. So this is one of my favorite plays from this season. This is absolutely dirty. So I'm just gonna let you watch this really quickly. So you have Gronk in motion, making the right side the strong side, and you have the entire line kind of pull, and you have blocking. Watch this. This is where Dion Lewis is special. Get off me. Get off me. Oh, God. That's nasty. The man has a kid. That's his family. All right, so let's check out this play. You're gonna see the line kind of shift with Shaq Mason right here, providing a nice lane with James Devlin sealing that off, like so. And so you see this giant lane open up, right? And it looks huge. It looks like a touchdown, but you have the linebackers closing in quickly. 23 Micah Hyde does a great job of slowing him down. But past contact right here is where Dion Lewis is really special. Right? You see him run through this. You see him accelerate and burst to the outside. And then I don't know if I can show this on this video without having to mark this as age restricted. This is dirty. It's a crime. He lifts him off the. Yeah, yeah. So this is kind of the power aspect I was talking about with Dion Lewis. You don't see this from Dion Lewis. You're used to seeing this from like Marshawn Lynch. You're used to seeing this from Adrian Peterson, not Dion Lewis, who's like 5'7" or whatever. This is why he's one of the most underrated backs in the league. He can combine that power aspect with that quick shiftiness you see right here as he's cutting out, as he's accelerating to the edge. This is what makes Dion Lewis so special. Now here's kind of an ordinary looking plain vanilla run by Dion Lewis, but what I want to point out here is even on these ordinary runs, he's making people miss. It's incredible to watch. So Dion Lewis is right here. He's the tailback behind the fullback, James Devlin. And I just want you to check this play out really quickly. All right, cuts it to the outside. Makes a man miss. 8 yards. 8 yards where there should have been none. And let me explain what happened here. This is a breakdown in the Patriots blocking. So what's supposed to happen here is 62 Joe Thuney is supposed to pull, and he's supposed to cover this C gap right in between Cameron Fleming and Rob Gronkowski. Now, what happens here is Rob Gronkowski is supposed to take it outside or inside leverage on this defensive end right here, and Cam Fleming's supposed to help him out with that. Except Cam Fleming, he decides that Rob Gronkowski's already got the inside, but Rob Gronkowski, as you can see, is still on the outside. And this allows the defensive end to stay in this gap. And this is kind of the target gap for this play. So when Joe Thuney right here is pulling, he's pulling to fill up that gap. But since there's already a man here, he can't really block, and he kind of screws up here. So the way this play is designed, there's meant to be 2 real target gaps here. There's meant to be 1 gap right here in the C gap, and 1 right here in the B gap. So as you can see, immediately, a giant hole does open up in the B gap, but you have 58 Demario Davis shoot through that gap. And this is actually what Joe Thuney should have picked up, but since he doesn't, you now have the primary target filled up, which is the C gap. You now have your secondary backup target filled up, which is this B gap right here. And you're running out of time because you have a linebacker charging at you full speed. So watch this jump cut by Dion Lewis here. Sees it? He sees the linebacker out of the corner of his eye. It's insane. Now, right here, he has a clean path, except you have a safety right here, number 32, kind of playing contain on Dion Lewis and stopping him from bouncing it. So what does Lewis do? Makes him miss. That's filthy right there. Filthy. Jeez. So as you can see, this is kind of a routine run, but even when the blocking is breaking down for Dion Lewis, he's able to do a lot by himself here. And you can see him continue to get yards after contact. And this Dion Lewis has been incredibly underrated in terms of being able to get yards after contact. I think PFF had him something like second after Alvin Kamara in yards after contact this year. And I think that's incredible. So now let's talk about Dion Lewis's production in the passing game. And Dion Lewis is an underrated receiver as well. Check out this play. This is on a 3rd down against the Buffalo Bills. At this point in the game, the score was pretty close. The Patriots had been struggling on 3rd down. So when it was 3rd and 12 here, when I was watching, I didn't expect the Patriots to do much. I expected them to go just settle for another field goal here. But then Dion Lewis comes up clutch here, and let's just check out this play. It's a screen pass to Dion Lewis. So you'll see Amendola motion out, and that's important. I'll explain why in just a second. And you see all these blocks set up. Dion Lewis with the patience. And that's something he's acquired this year, patience. He waits for his blocks to set up in front of him instead of just charging forward and trying to make defenders miss to make the highlight reel. And I think he's kind of watched a lot of Le'Veon Bell film here. And he seems to be embodying those same characteristics. So you see when Amendola motions out, 2 defenders follow him. 2 defenders bracket him. So what that means is, now instead of having 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 defenders on this one side, you now have 4 defenders. You now have 4 defenders, or 3 defenders now, and you have 3 blockers right here. And that's a more even matchup. So now actually number 50 right here is going to run over. He's going to recognize this play design. This is a great job by the center, number 60, recognizing that Number 50 is coming. The block sets up. Dion Lewis catches the ball. Number 60, David Andrews, does a great job of weaving past him. Now at this point, what Dion Lewis can do is he can just power through it if he wants to, but he doesn't. He takes a jump cut, waits, and lets number 77, Nate Solder, set up the double team block right here. And watch them steamroll number 55. Number 69, Shaq Mason, does a great job. He's been great for us all season. And Dion does the rest, just powering through contact and getting in while still remaining on his feet. All right, now just as I promised, this is my favorite Dion Lewis play ever. This is amazing. So this is actually from 2015, Week 5 against the Dallas Cowboys. Tony Romo was out this game. The Patriots won this in a blowout, 30-6. And this was kind of the season that Dion Lewis joined the Patriots, and he really started to become more and more known by the Patriots fan base before he tore his ACL in Week 9. And so what you'll see here is kind of the same concept as the play before, where a motion by Julian Edelman is aimed at clearing out some space right here for Dion Lewis to work with. So you'll see Dion Lewis come out of the flat like that. And so the entire line, everyone is shifting towards the left, including Amendola right here, who's going to run a route to the left, while Dion Lewis goes to the right. And so what this does is this allows Dion Lewis to get into open space. And just check out how deadly Dion Lewis is in open space. He catches the ball, makes one guy miss, makes two guys miss, makes three guys miss, and powers into the end zone. It's an incredible play. See why? Let's look at it from this angle. This angle is so much better to look at how incredible this play was. So you see Dion Lewis, he gets the fake handoff, fake reverse, jet sweep to Edelman. Lewis comes through underneath on the flat. Now watch this catch. This catch is behind him. Lewis snags it out of the air with one hand. Now watch this. Breaks this guy's ankles. Uses his height to duck underneath. Ducks through this guy's tackle. And just powers his way into the end zone. I remember watching this play live. I was freaking out. This was incredible stuff. I'd never seen anything like this before. And my favorite part about this play isn't even the fact that right here you have a one-handed catch by Dion Lewis, and then he jukes one guy and uses his height to make another miss and powers through. None of that. My favorite part of this entire play is this simultaneous reaction of every single defender who he just humiliated, and then number 27 right here just freak out and throws mouth guard, while number 23 looks at the ground. Look at that reaction. That's when you know. That's when you know you've made a play.